Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar focused on doing business in Guatemala. My name is Michelle Conley. I'm the Senior Director of Partnerships at World Trade Center, Utah. And we're thrilled to partner with the Guatemalan Consulate and with our partners over at the Governor's Office of Economic Development to bring you this information today. Here at World Trade Center, Utah, we focus on working with Utah companies to help them navigate their international growth, whether that's figuring out international expansion, navigating supply chain challenges, or other geopolitical issues. We work with Utah businesses to help them mitigate risk and do all that as successfully as possible. Part of that is getting to engage with many different consulates across the country. And today we're, again, just delighted to be able to work with the Guatemalan consulate to bring you the information that you'll hear today. We have a number of different speakers lined up that will provide a lot of expertise and valuable information as you're figuring out how and why to potentially do business in Guatemala or expand what you may already be doing there. And so you'll hear from different people today, but please feel free to chime in at any time with questions based on what's being said or spoken about at any given time. You can use the Q&A function or the chat function to chime in with your questions. This webinar is being recorded so that you're aware of that. And we will post it on our YouTube page afterwards, so it can be shared and referenced in the future. With that, I'd like to welcome and introduce our partners over at the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity or Economic Development, Anna Maiden, who will be providing some remarks on their behalf. Anna, thanks for joining us.
Great. Gracias, Michelle. Hola, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es Anna Maiden con Governor's Office of Economic Development. Hello, my name is Anna Maiden, and I'm so pleased to meet everyone. Mucho gusto. I'm with the Governor's Office of Economic Development, and we are so happy to be taking part in this webinar. We're excellent partners with World Trade Center Utah, as Michelle just spoke about. And we're really grateful that we have this opportunity to join our Guatemalan partners, the Honorable Walter Sierra, Consul General of Guatemala. And also, I'd love to give a big shout out for Marcos Guzman, who's the Honorary Consul here in Utah. It's very important. Marco, he maintains all the relationships of almost 30,000 Guatemalans in our Utah community. So we're so grateful that he is assisting us and doing some really great work with the government here. Our program, International Programs and Diplomacy, works with government-to-government relationships in almost every single country, especially where we have great opportunities for trade within our state. Without going any further, it's my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Consul General of Guatemala. And I would just like to read a few remarks about his background before he speaks to us. Walter Sierra holds a Bachelor of Laws and Social Sciences and is a lawyer and notary public. Graduated from the Universidad de San Carlos de Guatemala, where he also completed a postgraduate study toward a master's degree in commercial law at the Faculty of Judicial and Social Science. He is an active member of the Bar Association of Guatemala, and he is a career official with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Guatemala, with a broad and distinguished record in the Foreign Service, particularly in the diplomatic and consular fields. He currently serves as the Consul General of Guatemala in Denver, Colorado, the United States of America, and a position that he has held since March 17th, 2026. With an extensive career in the Guatemalan Foreign Service spanning over 3 decades, he has represented Guatemala in various diplomatic and consular missions. His previous roles include serving as Consul General of Guatemala in Cancun, Consul in McAllen, Texas, and Minister Counselor at the Embassy of Guatemala in Mexico. He has also served as the First Secretary and Consul at the Guatemalan embassies in Mexico, Honduras, and Belize, as well as Consul General and Vice Consul as the Consulate General of Guatemala in Banque Viejo, Belize. His performance is characterized by an adherence to the principles of international law, the strengthening of the consular actions of the state of Guatemala, the protection of the rights of nationals abroad, and the promotion of a professional, ethical, and service-oriented diplomacy. It's my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Consul General of Guatemala in Denver.
Listo. Bueno, muchísimas gracias, estimado Jonathan Friedman de World Trade Center.
Gracias. Thank you for the World Trade Center
Y a todos los demás asistentes
and all the people assisting today
para este importante evento.
for this special event.
Buenos días a todos los participantes que hoy nos acompañan.
Good morning to all the participants joining us today.
Un servidor, Walter Noack Sierra, Cónsul General de Guatemala en Denver, Colorado.
This is Walter Noack Sierra, Consul General of Guatemala in Denver, Colorado.
Es un honor saludarles en nombre del Gobierno de la República y desde la sede de este Consulado General.
Okay, it is a true honor to greet you on behalf of the government of Guatemala and from the headquarters of this Consulate General in Denver.
Y reiterar nuestro profundo agradecimiento al señor Jonathan Friedman y a todo el equipo de World Trade Center de Salt Lake City, Utah,
And would like to reiterate the deepest gratitude to Mr. Jonathan Friedman and the entire team of the World Trade Center, Salt Lake City, Utah,
por su visión y por hacer posible este valioso encuentro empresarial.
for the vision and for making this valuable business gathering possible.
El objetivo del evento es abrir una ventana hacia un país de certezas y de grandes oportunidades.
The objective of this webinar is to open a window to a country of certainty and great opportunities.
Guatemala no solo es el corazón del mundo maya, sino el motor económico de Centroamérica.
Guatemala is not only the heart of the Mayan world, but also the economic engine of Central America.
Contamos con una estabilidad macroeconómica sólida, una ubicación logística privilegiada y un marco comercial dinámico que ofrece toda la seguridad para un capital extranjero.
We boast solid microeconomic stability, a privileged logistical location, and a dynamic commercial framework that offers total security for foreign capital.
Desde este Consulado General, nuestra prioridad es la diplomacia comercial. Estamos aquí para ser facilitadores, el canal directo que asegure que cada empresario en Utah que desea expandir sus horizontes hacia el sur encuentre en nosotros un aliado estratégico y el acompañamiento necesario.
From this Consulate General, our priority is commercial diplomacy. We are here to be your facilitators, the direct channel to ensure that every business leader in Utah who decides to expand their horizon southward finds in us a strategic ally and the necessary support.
Para profundizar en este panorama y conocer de primera mano las ventajas competitivas que ofrecemos, tengo el agrado de ceder la palabra a la licenciada Jennifer Lobos, quien estará a cargo de la presentación País, Oportunidades de Negocios con Guatemala. Estoy seguro de que la información que nos compartirá será el punto de partida para grandes alianzas.
To delve deeper into this landscape and learn firsthand about the competitive advantages we offer, it is my pleasure to hand over the floor to Mrs. Jennifer Lobos, who will be leading the country presentation, Business Opportunities with Guatemala. I am certain that the information she will share with us will be the starting point for great alliances.
Nuevamente, gracias a todos por su tiempo y confianza. Les cedo la palabra a Jennifer y sean todos bienvenidos.
Once again, thank you all for your time and confidence. Jennifer, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Consul General. After the presentation, we're gonna have a few more introductions of Honorary Consul and another colleague of mine, which is in the LA office. But I'm gonna share my presentation. I just need access to share my screen, sorry. Oh, perfect, thank you. So welcome everyone, and I'm gonna give you, I know that the presentation, it's a little heavy, but after that you can ask me anything that you want. First of all, well, to talk a little bit about Guatemala. For you to guys know a little bit, we are 18 Guatemalans in Guatemala. The Guatemala City is our capital. In there we have 24 languages. We have Spanish, 22 Mayan, 1 Garifuna, and 1 Xinca language. Our GDP per capita, it's around 66,000 US dollars. Our exports are around $15 billion, and our imports $34 billion. Our currency is the quetzal. And an interesting thing about Guatemala, mainly our population, it's around between 15 and 24 years old, and 26% of the whole population, it's on working age. So as you can see, Guatemala, it's a country of very young people that are looking to expand their knowledge and to join more companies that are going to seek for another country to expand in the Latin American region. Another important thing is that we are really focusing in the energy sector in Guatemala, and according to the climate scope, which is a Bloomberg inform. We are number 3 as an emerging market in the Latin American region. We are followed by Brazil and Chile, and then it comes Guatemala, and number 10 around the world. So energy sector is one of the an interesting in sector that is developing in Guatemala. But another important thing is to tell you why Guatemala. What are our competitive advantages? Number 1, we have a really robust macroeconomics. As Consul General said, we are the biggest economy of the Central American region. We have a strategic location as well. We have access to the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, and we are only 400 kilometers between one ocean to the other. Another thing that we have young and skilled talent. We have a really dynamic growing labor force in Guatemala, which is really adapting to several sectors that we are trying to attract. We also have a reliable and affordable renewable energy, which makes your companies that are seeking to expand to have less cost in this specific sector, which is the energy. I mean, if you're going now to open an apparel and textile facility in Guatemala, you're going to be paying pretty less than the rest of the Central American region. And we also have special regimes and tax incentives for investment. In several sectors, later on, we're going to see the specification on each of those, but we have a lot for the apparel and textile, the services sector, other type of manufacturing, and also for the energy sector as well. Why are we really stable? First of all, we are the largest economy of Central American region. Our GDP growth during 2025 was around 4.1%, and we are projecting to grow around 3% in the rest of from 2025 to 2030. Another important thing about Guatemala and why are we so stable is because our exchange rate in relation to a local currency, which is the quetzal, it's been stable for the last 20 years. So that's why we keep using our currency. We are 1.81 in emerging market bond index. So this means that we have one of the lowest sovereign risk in the Central American region. Another interesting thing is that we have 10 months of international reserves that it's equivalent at 10 months of imports. Usually the countries have from 3 to 4. But Guatemala have 10 months. So this means that Guatemala is really stable. And also our inflation was only 1.6% 0.6% last year. And all this information that I give you is reflected on this risk rate agencies that gives us a really good rating. For example, we've been having Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and also Fitch Ratings coming to Guatemala each year. And we have been growing in this rate that we're having, and we're only 1 point to be an investment destination country. Then we have a strategic access to the rest of the world. We have 15 trade agreements, 19 investment agreements. When you think about Guatemala, you don't only think about one country, but we are also the access of the rest of the Central American region. We are the biggest country. We have the biggest population, but we have access to Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica. And also, as a Central American market, we have other agreements, such as the association agreement with the European Union. We have also one with Mexico. We have a free trade agreement with the United States. I know that it's been changing a little bit more with all the tariffs and the new policies that the U.S. have. But regarding this, Guatemala has also signed another bilateral agreement between Guatemala and the U.S. To reduce these tariffs on 70% of the exports products that we have. So we're gonna have mainly zero tariffs to go into the U.S., and the rest are gonna be around the 10%, which is gonna be depending on the type of product that you're gonna want to import from Guatemala to the U.S. And we also have another agreements. We are implementing Peru and South Korea as well. This is for you to have a quick overview of the distance that we have in maritime transport. This is compared with the rest of Central American countries. Guatemala, it's only 2 days away from Miami. Rotterdam is only 16 days. Los Angeles, 11 days. South Korea, 28 days. 54 days from Mumbai, India. And 2 days from Manzanillo, Mexico. So as you can see, we're the closest country regarding the main ports. So this gives you a little bit more of certainty when you are trying to diversify your supply chain. You know that during COVID, we have several restrictions, and now with the war that we are having in the Middle East, we're having several problems regarding this transport. So if you do want to export to main ports, you're gonna have this access if you're doing this from Guatemala. Another important thing that we really want people to know and businessmen to know is that we are a really diversified and growing economy. This is a little bit about the composition of our GDP. And I wanted to show you because many people, when they think about Guatemala, they think we're mainly agricultural, but that's not entirely true. It is a really important sector in our country, but it's not the main one. So our GDP is composed, first of all, for vehicle trade and repairs. Then 13% is manufacturing industry. Then we have real estate activities. Then it comes the agriculture, then financial and insurance activities, construction, information and communication. So we are really pushing the services sector in our country. Then we have public administration, administrative supports and services, and other activities. And but what do we manufacture? This is specifically how the GDP is compound regarding the manufacturing sector. So the first of all is the manufacturing cement, lime, and gypsum. This is because we are really focusing on constructing a lot of Guatemala. We have a lot of real estate activities in there, and we're also developing more industrial parks because we're trying to attract more investment and more companies to open facilities in Guatemala. So that's the reason for this. Then we have a lot of manufacture of paper and paper products. We have non-alcoholic beverages. We have a big production of oils and fats. We also manufacture pharmaceutical products. We have the processing and preservation of poultry meat. We do manufacture, repair, and installation of machinery, and so on, and planning Then what do we export? I think this is one of the most important slides because we're gonna see what are we giving the world from Guatemala. So an important thing for you to see is that 65% of our export products are for manufacturing industry. Then we have 28% from agricultural industries and the rest from extractive industries. We will have an example later on from the apparel sector, which for us is the #1 export products, which is 9% that we have apparel. Then we have bananas and coffee, which are one of the most important products in Guatemala. You know that Guatemala is really well known for its coffee and also the bananas. We also have edible oils and fats, sugar, plastic materials and products, cardamom, pharmaceutical products, fresh, dried, and frozen fruits, paper, and cardboard manufacturers. So as you can see, we are a country that has a lot of opportunities, and we are joining global supply chains with all these products that we are exporting already. Then Guatemala has also a really big services sector that it's been growing since a couple of years ago. And during 2025, we export $4 billion of dollars worldwide. This means that we grew 4.8% in relation to 2024. So this is a growing sector that we are developing, and we are really trying to pull this to attract this type of operations to our country. We are doing giving technical skills to the young people so they can join this sector as well. And they are also having a lot of trainings in English. So I cannot give you a specific number of how many people in Guatemala know English, but we have public and private technical institutes that are giving this type of trainings to the people so they can be able to join this sector. So we have business and technology services, we have telecommunication, professional consulting, and also manufacturing services on physical inputs. And also we have the logistics and operations services, which is maritime transport, other type of services, and mainly travel and international service. So this is Guatemala is really increasingly supporting international companies. And another important thing is that when you are having this type of services from Guatemala, we're in the same time zone as the US. So this makes things a little bit easier because sometimes when the companies from the US work with India or Asia, it's a little bit hard to communicate because of the time zone. So with Guatemala, we are pretty much aligned in that area. Then Guatemala is really building a strategy which is really strong to attract new investment. So we develop the goals that we have to attract sectors in the short term, in the medium term, and in the long term. All the sectors that you can see in the short terms are already in Guatemala, and they are one of the most important, and we export all of these products. So we have processed food, non-alcoholic beverage, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, apparel and textile, ICT and software, and we also have BPOs and contact centers. In the medium term, there are some sectors that we already have, shared services centers, electronicals, which is auto parts. In Guatemala, we had the investment of Yasaki, which is an automotive company that is coming from Japan, and they manufacture the electronic harnesses of the vehicles. And they are also expanding the operation that already have in Guatemala, and they're opening a new facility during this year and 2027. We also want to attract more health services, metalworks, and tourism. And in the long term, this is where we are really preparing our people to have these technical skills so we can develop soon all this biotechnology, medical devices and equipment, electronic components and equipment, and also information technologies and other advanced manufacturing. So as part of this, of attracting the rest of the sectors that I mentioned, Guatemala has something that it's called Ruta del Chip, which is the chip route. What is the chip route? This is a strategy that has a national incentive. It's part of the FDI investment attraction strategy, and we are prioritizing this sector strategically, and we're positioning in the global dynamic that it's already happening. So we really have a good relationship with Taiwan, for example, and we're having many engineers that have been training in Taiwan and then going back to Guatemala. We work with the universities of Guatemala, technical institutes, not only in Guatemala, we're going worldwide to have all these technical skills being set up in Guatemala. So we're really trying to pull this type of know-how from the rest of the world to Guatemala so we can develop the strategy that I have mentioned before. So this is something that we are doing, defining this roadmap so we can be more competitive and develop this type of skills so we can have this type of manufacturing in our country. We have a young talent aligned with industry needs. As I told you at the beginning, we're 18 million of Guatemalans, but 12 million are on working age. So we have a lot of offers to give new companies that are coming there. From this population, we have 8 million that are economically active. In Guatemala, we have something that it's called INTECAP, which is a public and private training center. When you are an owner of a company, there's a little percentage that goes to INTECAP. And what they give you, it's technical services for your people. We have centers around the world. We have around Guatemala, that gives all these people training. We have over 490,000 participants during 2025. We offer 78 specialties and 26 high-tech laboratories all over Guatemala. The important thing about INTECAP is they don't only give you the training for the sectors that we already have. For example, once Yasaki wanted to go to Guatemala, they wanted to do a quick overview of the regions, what are the skills that they have. So they do all this type of investigation in several parts of Guatemala, and then they can develop programs that are specifically custom-made to your needs. So this is also a really good incentive for companies to come to Guatemala. We also have 15 universities in Guatemala, and we are enrolling more than 500,000 annually into the working population. Another advantage that we have, as we mentioned, the energy sector is really important for us. In comparison with the rest of the region, Guatemala has one of the lowest prices in the energy sector, and also we don't have this type of breakdowns that has many other countries in the region, and not only Central America, but worldwide. We don't have that. Why? It's because we are generating our energy supply. We have a really strong energy matrix in Guatemala, and we have a lot of renewable resources that we use. We are doing highly hydropower, but we also have biomass, wind, thermal, solar, natural gas. We have several. So 53% of our energy is coming from renewable resources. And another interesting thing in Guatemala, we have something that we call large users. So if you do consume more than 10,000 megawatts, you can negotiate with private suppliers for your price on energy. So these prices that you may see here at the screen, these are like industrial tariffs. So it's a range of consumption. It will be depending on your company. But as you can see, Guatemala, which is the light blue, is the lowest of the rest of the Central American countries. And even Panama, it's in this. Then we have several incentives in Guatemala. We do not only have free zones, but we have 3 special regimes. The first is the law for the promotion and development of export and maquila activities. This is mainly focused in services sector and apparel and textile. What's the difference between this and the other two? In this, you don't certify a specific place as you do in a trade zone. In this, you certify your economic activity. So you can be located in one floor of a building and you can have all these incentives, which is mainly that you're not gonna be having to pay value-added tax and other type of taxes when you're importing the machinery that you're gonna be using. And we have free zones law and the public special economic development zones. And when you're interested in going into Guatemala, of course, there's going to be special advisors that are going to be telling you which is going to be the right for the type of industry that you want to develop. And of course, this is mainly for the export industry of Guatemala. And we also have strategic incentives for energy transition investments. So we have one, which is for renewable energy products, where you have you don't have to pay value-added tax or some custom charges when you're developing this type of renewable energy products. And we also have another incentives, which is for the electromobility. So this applies when you are going to be manufacturing any type of vehicle, such as electric, hybrid, or green hydrogen vehicle in Guatemala. So we are really trying to pull this energy transition sector to come to Guatemala. Then a little bit of why Utah companies should look toward Guatemala. First of all, we have identified that Utah is looking for supply chain resilience, regional manufacturing expansion, competitive operational platform, faster and more efficient logistics, strategic sourcing partners, and technology and business support services. So as I have mentioned before, we are really trying to pull this type of companies. We're really developing in the services sector and all this supply chains that it's regarding the manufacturing sector. So I think really we are really aligned with the things that you in Utah are seeking. And
Jennifer?
I think that, yes?
Oh, may I jump in with a question that someone asked that's related to what you're speaking about right now? They asked if there's a list of apparel and textile manufacturers within Guatemala that can be provided. And additionally, is there a way to connect with contacts at major companies to explore opportunities for supply chain diversification as you're speaking about?
Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, for sure. After we finish, we have our contacts. We usually give the companies that are interested in seeking contacts from Guatemala a quick form where you can have all the information about your company, what type of products are you looking for, what are the specific quantities, because we have small and medium companies, and we also have big companies that are already exporting worldwide. So depending on the quantities that you're looking for, we connect you with companies there. So you can be a little bit specific and we can have a one-on-one meeting after this so we can know a little bit more about your company. It doesn't have to be apparel and textile. We work in several sectors. As you can see, we have a really good connection, not only with private sector, but also with the public sector. So we can set you up with the companies that are really the ones that are going to be fitting your needs.
Thanks for that, Jennifer.
Thank you. Then another about the strategic opportunities that we have. We already identify a few sectors, but as you can see, it's not only about this. We have an apparel sourcing. We have vertical integration in Guatemala. We do full package to our clients here. Guatemala is already working with several brands in the sportswear and also in the suits sector. So we do a lot of Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, and also we work with Tommy Hilfiger, J. Crew, and some other brands that are really big here in the US. We also have a lot of packaging solutions in the plastic and the paper manufacturing. In the food industry, we have a lot of processed food and all, as well as other ingredients. The interesting thing about here is for exporting to the US, you need to have certain certification, and we have plenty of companies that are already certified with not only FDA approved, but you know that now we have many organic certifications that you may need for several type of food. But many companies in Guatemala already have this. We have also technology support. We are developing IT, software, and business support services. We have a lot of manufacturing diversification with advanced manufacturing capabilities that we've been developing since 2020. And we can do also pharmaceutical support for manufacturing this type of things. And these are just a few of the companies that are already investing in Guatemala. As I mentioned, we have Yasaki, but we already have many other type of food and beverage and services. We have Tata Consulting Services, TELUS, which is a call center in BPO, Teleperformance. These are companies that come from India, the United States, and also Asia and the rest of Latin America. So please count with us to develop and to support your business. We are part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. As I mentioned, my name is Jennifer Lobos. I'm currently based in the New York office. You can see my email there. But I would love to introduce to you my colleague, Ricardo Solares. Here in the US, we have 4 commercial offices. One is in Los Angeles, one is in New York, Washington, D.C., and Miami. And we provide you with all the information that you may need. We connect you with government agencies, Pro Guatemala, which is the investment agency from Guatemala, private sector partners, investor and strategic stakeholders. Please use all the services that we have so you can have business agendas that we can make. We do a lot of virtual connections first. I know that maybe you need to know people before going down there to Guatemala, so we can set up meetings from here. We do also marketing intelligence in case you need information for a specific sector, and we support you through all the process. So with this, I would love to give my colleague Ricardo, he's just joined the LA office, but he's in charge of Utah, so I think it's really important for you guys to meet him and to be able to contact him from now on. And also I'm based in New York, but I'm also here if you need anything. So thank you very much, and I can give Ricardo, the floor is yours, so you can introduce yourself and let me know if anyone has questions or comments.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer, for the insightful presentation. And thank you as well to the World Trade Center at Utah for bringing us together today. For those who I have not yet had the opportunity to meet, my name is Ricardo Solares, and I recently assumed the role of commercial attaché for Guatemala in Los Angeles, covering the U.S. West Coast. I am delighted to see so much interest in Guatemala today, whether you are exploring sourcing opportunities, market expansions, investment projects, or simply learning more about our country. We appreciate your time and interest there. And thank you again for your time, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. Appreciate both of those presentations. We do have a couple of questions, and I think we'll maybe answer those, and then we'll hear from Dave and Liz. So one question is, what percentage of your textiles are from Guatemala versus from China?
I mean, for example, for us to export to the US market, we have to make, like, our rule of origin is yarn forward. So when we are using the raw material, it has to come from whether from the US or from Guatemala or the rest of the Central American countries. So I'm not sure about the specific percentage, but it may be 1 or 2% of the raw materials that we use for the apparel and textile business, because it mainly has to be there. Because for us, it's better to have duty-free access if you use all this type of material. So mainly it comes from the US and from Central America.
Great. Thanks, Jennifer. Another question that we have is what's an industry in Guatemala that is growing internally, but is still not well integrated into global supply chains yet?
I think one of the main ones that we have is the services sector. It is growing, but it's not a usual sector that people know Guatemala for. So that's where we're trying to position a little bit more. They don't know if Guatemala is doing all these services, software development, which we are already doing. We are really trying to position that a little bit more. So I think that's one of the most interesting sectors.
Great. Thanks, Jennifer. If others have questions, feel free to chime in. But for now, I'd like to introduce Dave and Liz Finlay. They're the co-founders of Albion Fit. I'm sure anyone in Utah knows the amazing apparel company here. And they're huge advocates of doing business in Guatemala. It's been a really core part of their company. So appreciate them joining us today to share some of their experience. Dave and Liz, welcome.
Welcome. Maybe we'll just trade off a little bit. We have an apparel company here in the U.S. and we've found it really advantageous to work in Guatemala. And I think that you got just going over what the presentation. I think the speed to market is a big one that Guatemala has an advantage over Asia, and also the free trade agreement that Jennifer was talking about with using like this hemisphere based uh, textiles. If you can source all of it in this hemisphere, it's you get the free trade agreement is wonderful, and those two things have made it really good, and also the quality of work that comes out we found to be really good. And like Jennifer was saying, also there's a lot of different factories in Guatemala, a lot of different sizes, so there's probably something um, that you could find that would work with whatever size you are looking for.
Thanks, Dave. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Liz?
I don't know if we can hear you. I don't know if your microphone's working.
Shoot, it was earlier.
Yeah.
Hi, Liz.
Liz is the best, and anyways, she is usually she'd be killing it. So, but overall, our experience in Guatemala has been great, and I think um especially if you have I think the hurdles might be if you are manufacturing all your products in Asia, and that's kind of where you do a lot of your design and everything. Um, I think it's okay because I think Guatemala has people that can do exactly the same thing, and so I think it's worked out really great for us.
Great. Thanks so much, Dave. And if anyone's interested in connecting more with Liz and Dave, just to hear about their experience, I'm offering this up on your behalf, Dave, but I'm sure you are willing to
Yeah,
chat with any
sure.
business to share your experience and talk more about that.
Is this working now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are,
Yeah.
Liz.
Sometimes you just have to hop off and hop back on. Yeah, the two things that I would say that I think we have found to be very advantageous is um, the language barrier just really isn't an issue with Guatemala. And I do think that's really important, at least when you're working with apparel. You can get very technical with tech packs, but to be able to just speak to people in the same time zone, I think is huge. And so, you're working during regular business hours during the day when you're working in the US and then working in Guatemala. Flying to Guatemala is very easy as well. And so it's just, the access is really difficult to match.
Thanks so much, Liz. I agree. I went to Guatemala just a couple years ago for personal reasons and was struck by how easy it was to get there. I was saying to my husband, why are we not going to Guatemala all the time?
Yeah.
We had such a great trip, and it was just so easy to get there from Utah. Great. Thanks, Dave and Liz. And again, if anyone would like to connect with them, please reach out, and we're happy to make that connection for you. I want to give our last speaker a quick minute to share a couple of remarks before answering these last couple of questions. Anna mentioned earlier the Honorary Consul of Guatemala here in Utah, Marcos Guzman, recently took on that role. He's a Guatemalan businessman based here in Utah, again, and is that local point of contact for anyone interested in doing business there. Marco, are you here? Are you able to share a few remarks?
Yes, so I'm sorry. I have a bad connection with my camera, even the internet as well.
No problem. We can hear you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate your here. Utah and Guatemala may be geographically different, but both share a strong entrepreneurial spirit and hard worker community. I believe there is a great potential to build a meaningful and mutually beneficial partnership between Utah and Guatemala. I really appreciated all the people is looking opportunities in Guatemala. This is a great country. And Utah, also in Utah, we have a strong community of Guatemala that they contributed with companies here as well, and they are so happy. And I think if a person wants to invest in Guatemala, they will be the same way. That's all I have to add. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marcos. Appreciate you being here. And again, afterwards, we'll share your contact information as well, so that it's easy for Utah companies to connect with someone who's local in country. We do have another question for Jennifer, or potentially Ricardo, asking about the efficiency of the ports in Guatemala. Can you speak to that a bit? How efficient are the ports that you mentioned in the country?
Yes. We have a bit of a challenge in the port area and in the infrastructure sector of Guatemala. The government is really working on being a little bit more efficient in this area. We have two main ports. One is in the Atlantic and one is in the Pacific Ocean. And we're really trying to develop a little bit more of good infrastructure. Our time take a little time, but yeah, we're working on doing that. Recently in Guatemala, we have a little change in our law, which is from public and private projects in there. Some of them are going to be based to develop more infrastructure in the ports, in the roads. So this is something that we are working on getting better. And we're trying to develop a little bit more. So we're trying to set up the basis to improve this that we're having, but it's not something that it's a lack of efficiency, but we're trying to improve because the export sector and the import is growing so much that it's happening like this. It's taking a little bit, but it's just an adjustment time that we need to have for that.
Thanks, Jennifer. Makes sense, and good to hear that more investment is going in there, and it's just going to keep getting better as time goes by. That is the end of our formal remarks. I do want to open it up and see if anyone else has questions or comments that they'd like to make regarding business in Guatemala, whether it's your own personal experience, questions for your companies, or anything like that. Any other thoughts? Jennifer?
Oh, yes. No, I wanted to say that, well, I recently visited Salt Lake City specifically for an event, and I was really happy to see that many people from there know already Guatemala. They have a special bond with Guatemala. They have come for personal reasons, for doing mission in Guatemala. So many people know a little bit about the beautiful country that we have. but we wanted to give you a little bit more information about the strong economy that we have. And once you're doing business with another country, you don't only see the economic part. It is important, we have that, but it would be nice that if you're doing business with a company, you need to visit the country, you have a beautiful place to go to as well. So for us, it's a win-win situation. Like doing business with great people. You know, Guatemala has a really work-directed and really good services sector. If you visit the country, you will see that people are really nice. They're always looking to help you. As Liz and Dave mentioned, the language is not a barrier. All the people that are in export already know English. So that's kind of an important thing for us to develop, not only in Guatemala City, but in the whole country. So that is also an important thing. So please, I mean, use us, ask information that you may need. If you are a little interested about something, even in the tourist part, please feel free to chat with us. That's where we're here for you. As you can see, we have great people that is getting involved in promoting Guatemala. We have Consul General, which is in Colorado, but it's part of the area that he needs to cover. That's what they have. Also Marco, which is the Honorary Consul, and we have Ricardo as me as well. So you have a great team that is going to be happy to know a little bit more about you. And if you need something, please let us know.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We have a lot of requests coming for your presentation, so appreciate you being willing to share that with everybody. I imagine it sounds like you're the best person to connect with. So anyone that is interested in connecting or talking with anyone after this event, reaching out directly to you is the best place to start, and then you'll connect them with the best next step. Is that correct?
Yes, sure.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Any other final questions or comments before we wrap up? Did I see a can from Anna?
Yes, I just wanted to actually someone asked the question about the ports. I was going to ask that same question, but I also, as we're wrapping up, I would just really like to thank the Consul General. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and our honorary consul in Salt Lake City. Again, I just want to reiterate, these two individuals are so helpful to anyone in Utah who needs assistance. Obviously, we're here at the Governor's Office of Economic Development to provide support. And I just wanted to thank our hosts, Michelle and Andrea from World Trade Center, Utah. Thanks so much for putting this together. And it was a great presentation, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Agreed. I want to echo the comments about Consul General Noack Sierra. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We had the pleasure probably 3 years ago of hosting the then Consul General here in Utah, and would invite you to consider visiting our state sometime. We'd welcome you anytime to connect in person with our great business community. So hopefully we'll have the opportunity to host you here sometime in the near future. I see. Okay. I don't see any further questions or comments. So again, thank you all so much for being with us today. We will send out the presentation and everyone's contact information following today's webinar. And again, you'll also be able to find it on our YouTube page, so you can reference this information and share with anybody else. So thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you. Have a good day.